right now is the founder of Article 3 Project and the president and former Gorsuch Supreme Court clerk, Mike Davis. Mike, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. What do you make of all of this? How likely would a move of a trial be from Washington to West Virginia, in your view?
There is no chance that President Trump is going to get a fair trial in Washington, D.C. with this Biden special counsel Jack Smith, this Obama leftist judge, Judge Tanya Chutkan, and this 95% Trump deranged D.C. jury pool. The problem is the decision to move this trial is going to be up to this Obama judge, and she's not going to do that. So we should expect that this judge and this jury is going to find him guilty and convict him. The Obama-stacked D.C. Circuit's going to affirm the conviction no matter what it is, and the Supreme Court is ultimately going to have to step in and reverse this case because it's clearly lawless.
Well, this is absolutely incredible what is taking place here. Mike, what's your take on the length of a trial like this or the length of a case like this? Here we are in a presidential election season. You've got the first debate happening literally in 2 weeks. You've got the Iowa caucuses literally happening in 2 months. And you've got a year or so away from the election in November of 2024. When you look at what needs to take place in a trial like this, in a case like this, where you've got depositions and you've got discovery, where Trump's lawyers are going to have to get access to all of the evidence the way the DOJ has access to everything, do you believe that all of that can take place within this year before the 2024 election? Because Jack Smith says he wants, quote, a speedy trial.
Yeah, there's no chance that Trump will get the evidence that he needs in a fair trial before the election. They know this. They waited, the Biden Justice Department waited 29 months to indict Trump for his presidential records he's allowed to have under the Presidential Records Act. They waited 31 months to indict Trump for objecting to a presidential election, which he's allowed to do under the Electoral Count Act of 1887 and the First Amendment. It's only a crime to object to presidential elections in third world Marxist hellholes like Zimbabwe, because otherwise Democrats would be in prison for objecting to Republican wins in 1968, 2000, 2004, 2016. Jack Smith is trying to rush this now after waiting 31 months because this is obvious election interference. What is the rush?
It's amazing. This is 78 pending criminal charges. I don't think anyone has ever seen anything like this, and yet a federal judge did deal a blow to special counsel Jack Smith's former President Trump's classified documents case, Judge Aileen Cannon, questioning why the Justice Department is using a Washington, D.C. grand jury in the Florida case. She's also denying that the special counsel's request for sealed filings, striking 2 from the record. Mike, your thoughts on this latest move?
Judge Aileen Cannon is a real judge, and she's going to stand up for all defendants' rights against government abuses, including a former president of the United States. Judge Tanya Chutkan in Washington, D.C. is a partisan judge, and there's no chance that President Trump is going to get a fair process or a fair trial in Washington, D.C. Jack Smith knows this. Merrick Garland knows this. President Biden knows this. This is lawfare to take out President Trump because they fear they can't beat him on November 7th, 2024.
Well, it's pretty extraordinary. And then in the meantime, all of this evidence that is being released on potential Biden family crimes, I mean, bribery. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan released more internal Facebook documents alleging that FBI agent Elvis Chan lied under oath about discussing the Biden laptop with Facebook. Chan testified that he had no internal knowledge of the laptop investigation. He said he was only part of one October 2020 conversation with Facebook about Hunter. But then we've got these internal documents, and they show a Facebook employee writing that Chan was involved in more than one conversation about the infamous laptop, and that he, quote, advised that there was no current evidence to suggest any foreign connection or direction of the leak, Mike. So we all know what took place with this Biden laptop. The FBI has been sitting on it since 2019, And yet they sat on it and let Trump get impeached over a phone call, knowing that it was Hunter Biden that was taking all that money from the Ukrainian company, Burisma. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this was a lawsuit by the state of Missouri versus the Biden administration about illegal censorship. This is the state of Missouri should file a motion for contempt in the Western District of Louisiana, and Judge Terry Doughty should issue a show cause order why he should not find this special agent at the FBI, Elvis Chan, in contempt for what appears to be an obvious lie, obvious perjury to the court.
We just spoke with Congressman Clyde about what he's going to do about it, and he's basically saying they're going to hold money back from the DOJ. They've got that appropriations bill on the docket this September. Here's what the congressman just told me a few minutes ago. Watch.
The check for the Department of Justice, which includes the FBI and the ATF and the entire prosecutorial branch of the Department of Justice. So that is where we will be cutting their budget. You know, the barber is open, and we need to hold them accountable through money.
Mike, is that the answer here? I mean, how are we going to fix a politicized FBI, a politicized DOJ, without a change of power in the White House?
Yeah, so that is one way it should happen, is cutting off funding. The House Republicans should just say we're not funding these FBI projects to go after political opponents. We're not funding prosecutions of major presidential candidates before November 7th, 2024. And House Republicans need to open an impeachment inquiry on President Biden for his obvious corruption, and Attorney General Merrick Garland and FBI Director Chris Wray for their obvious cover-up for their boss of his corruption. We cannot have this type of justice system. This is republic-ending type of misconduct.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Kevin McCarthy to do just that. I'm expecting that to be one of the priorities in September. Mike, we'll be following it, and we hope you'll come back soon to talk with us about it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, Mike.